Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th devlog on my indie tower defense game Rent to Defense. Without further ado, let's begin. One of the biggest problems with my game was that it didn't have enough strategy. I had a limit of only 3 towers per level, which was way too low to have any depth or creativity to it. So to fix this, I've allowed the maximum tower limit to be set to 6. Immediately I found the difference to be more enjoyable. Another problem I was facing was that there weren't enough ways to make money. The temporary solution I had was just to make every tower give a massive amount of money for its price. Eventually I'll balance the towers to be more reasonable though. I have 2 long-term solutions. First, I made it so that when an enemy dies, it drops a very small amount of money, about enough per wave for 1 or 2 attacking towers' salary. The second solution has been in my head for a while now. I even made the sprite for the mechanic more than a month ago, but I just never had the time to implement the feature. If you've paid close attention to my older devlogs, you'll realize there was a phone in the top left corner of the tower select screen that I've barely mentioned. It said call your agent on its screen. What are agents? Agents are kind of like bonus abilities you can pick before each level, although you can only pick one. Each agent gives either an active ability that you can use whenever you want, like a giant coin that you can drop similar to an airstrike, or they can give passive abilities, like $100 extra each wave, or $2,000 extra starting cash. The first thing I did was improve the old phone sprite to a much more rotund version. I also added different colors to the profile icon to differentiate agents from each other in an effective yet lazy way. Next, I coded some buttons that can change the frame of the phone and also change which agent is selected. After that, I made the agent appear underneath the tower icons in game. The first agent I created gives $100 each wave. Pretty simple, which I think would be good for the very first agent. While making the agent, for now we'll call her Agent Purple, I realized that I needed some indication to the player that the agent was actually doing its job. I decided I would have some text flow out the icon to the left, but I realized my text object wasn't dynamic enough, so I gave the option to change its angle, size, color, and the direction it moves. The second agent I created works almost exactly like the first one, except it just gives $2,000 before the first wave. Unfortunately, I didn't have time for the third agent, but trust me, it'll be pretty interesting in the next devlog. Something my game was lacking is sound. Sound makes the whole gaming experience feel more alive and responsive, and as I would discover later, make the game feel like a true experience. So I began research on how to make sound. I watched a couple YouTube videos about sound design, and it's a sound making software called Audacity. I then read up on the Game Maker documentation to learn how to put in simple sounds. Eventually I finished putting in my first sound into Game Maker. At first I couldn't make it play in game, but after I squashed the issue I got it working. Have a listen to how it initially sounded. Yeah, that wasn't too great, was it? The problem was that I accidentally made the sound play every single frame. Then I fixed the issue. Alongside that first sound, I decided to add many more to the game. Have a listening montage. I'm really satisfied with how all these sounds turned out. I also wanted to add at least one tower. I have a ton of ideas just lying around, but I decided to go with a new one. The concept is a garbage truck that launches poisonous projectiles. After much longer than I would say, it's fully functional. It's got an amazing damage output plus splash damage. It also has a poisonous damage over time effect. The poisonous status effect doesn't do a fixed amount of damage, it actually does a percentage of the enemy's health over time. Obviously this tower is ridiculously strong, so I've made it by far the most expensive tower. It's fully functional except for a feature not yet possible, but it will be in the next devlog because I've already started to work on it. I just didn't have enough time to finish. Now on to the minor additions and changes. For some reason, my chef tower suddenly stopped working. After a while of testing with no results, I figured I needed to revamp the way towers gave income. Before, the system I had was completely jank, where basically each tower only had a single frame to process whether or not it was time to give income. I fixed this problem by adding a loop that goes through each money-making tower placed down and tells them to make money. I'm pretty satisfied with this solution and I hope it's good enough to not have to change later. Another minor bug I fixed is my tower collision system. There was a bug that allowed you to place towers on top of each other if you placed them in the correct manner. All it took was a short check to fix this issue. Lastly, I renovated the sprite for the Rainbow Factory to look a bit better. I'm still a bit bothered by the orange top, but I'm not really sure what to do about it. If you have any sort of tips, it would be greatly appreciated. And that's everything I've completed in the last 2 weeks. Thank you for sticking around until the end. Like and subscribe and follow my Twitter. See you next time. I'm out.